Jurassic World Evolution 2 has gotten 5 DLC so far, but which one is the best? This is a completely factual ranking of the DLCs. If you disagree, then you're wrong. Obviously, that is not true. This is just my personal ranking, and because of that, in last place, the Camp Cretaceous pack. I'm not a huge Camp Cretaceous fan, so I don't have the same attachment to the dinosaurs in the pack as fans of the show probably do. The Camp Cretaceous pack contained only 2 new species, the Monlavosaurus, which is excellent, and the Scorpius Rex, which I do like better in the game than I did in the show because the skin game is strong, but as a very monstrous looking hybrid, I just don't find myself using it often in my parks. Everything else from the Camp Cretaceous DLC were skins. The Tyrannosaurus, the Lux Parasaurolophus, Pierce the Kentrosaurus, Bumpy the Ankylosaurus, Toro the Carnotaurus, and Big Edie the T-Rex. Now this is a lot of species to give alt skins and variants for, but only the Lux Para skins are skins from the pack that I consistently use more than the base game ones that we already had in the game. I will say that Update 5 retroactively enhances the content of this DLC by giving us skin and pattern color variations for the Tyrannosaurus and the Kentrosaurus, so that's a nice and unexpected bonus. But not enough to bump this pack up higher in my personal ranking. If you disagree with my ranking, leave your own ranking in a comment down below. There are no wrong answers here, it's just fun to think about, and it might also help you contextualize what I think about the Malta DLC, like how it compares to the Biosyn DLC that we got 6 months ago. The Camp Cretaceous DLC coming in last was easy for me, but right after that, the decision got really difficult. Obviously, it's a matter of which of the 2 remaining packs is better than the other, and which of the 2 expansions I think is better than the other. In 4th place, I put the Early Cretaceous pack. The Early Cretaceous pack was the first DLC to come to the game aside from the Deluxe Dinosaurs only about a month after the base game released. The pack has great species. Sungrypterus is probably my least favorite in the pack, but I love Minmi and Werho, and Kronosaurus is probably my second most used aquatic after Mosasaurus. Not in the least because the Chrono also has a cool shark-eating animation. I really like this pack. It's a good pack, but when it came to deciding which of the 2 I liked better, I thought to myself, okay, what if someone comes to me with the question, hey Evo, I can only buy one of these 2 packs, which one should I get? And then after much soul searching, I did come to the conclusion that I would recommend them the Late Cretaceous pack over the Early Cretaceous pack, so that is how I decided my ranking, and that is how the Late Cretaceous pack ended up in the 3rd place of my DLC ranking overall. Of course, the 2 expansions are in 1st and 2nd place. Even though they are much more expensive, they also include a lot more content. And I'm actually inclined to say that you get more value for your money with the expansions. They are well worth the extra cost, and they just have a little more content to love, which means it's no contest. But the Late Cretaceous pack is my favorite of the packs so far. It gave us the Alamosaurus, the Australovenator, the Styxosaurus, and the Barbarodactylus. Again, the flying reptile is my least favorite creature in the pack. The Alamosaurus is a unique looking large sauropod in the game, and similarly Styxosaurus with its bioluminescent trait also brings something completely different to the game from the other aquatics. So mainly on the strength of those 2, I prefer this pack to the others. But the Australovenator is also a cool dinosaur, and I'm a sucker for colorful carnivores. You might be wondering, hey Evo, what about the Deluxe pack though? Oops. I always do this. I always forget to consider the Deluxe pack as part of the DLC lineup because it's been in our game since the very start, so it just feels part of the game. That being said though, the Deluxe pack does have slightly more content than the other packs, but that doesn't make it the best in my opinion. Only Pachyrhinosaurus is a must-have species for me personally. The vehicle skins from the pack I never even bother using, and the additional amenity signs I can live without as well. Quick and dirty, the deluxe pack would come between the Camp Cretaceous pack and the early Cretaceous pack. Now the main question that you probably want answered is which of the expansions comes in first place? The Dominion Biosyn expansion from last summer or the brand new Dominion Malta expansion? It is hard to judge this fairly without the newness of the latter influencing my decision here. The Malta DLC is our new shiny toy after all, but I think I managed to take that out of the equation. First, a quick overview of the content of both expansions. In the Biosyn expansion, we got Pyroraptor, Therizinosaurus, Dimetrodon, Quetzalcoatlus, Giga 2022, Dreadnoughtus 2022, Rexy 2022, the Feathered Rex, Dilophosaurus 2022, Parasaurolophus 2022 ×3, 2 levels of new campaign story, a Chaos Theory mode, the Biosyn Sanctuary map and the Sierra Nevada map, a Biosyn building set including a new attraction and the Hyperloop system, invisible fences, decorations, and finally, Biosyn vehicle skins. The Malta expansion includes Atrociraptor, Lystrosaurus, Oviraptor, Morus Intrepidus, Allosaurus 2022, Iguanodon 2022, Carnotaurus 2022, and Dimorphodon 2022, as well as 3 levels of a new campaign story which has some very different mechanics from the rest of the game, Malta buildings, decorations, 3 new maps, one of which having a natural lagoon, which is a one-off, completely unique thing in the game, and finally also new vehicle skins. The 2 are fairly balanced in terms of content. The Biosyn expansion has the Chaos Theory mode, but Malta has 3 campaign levels instead of 2, with more extensive new mechanics. Malta comes with 3 maps instead of 2, but on the flip side, the Biosyn maps are bigger. In the Biosyn building set, we had a new viewing tower and Hyperloop system. The Malta building set doesn't just not add a new attraction, it's also missing a reskin of the tower. But then again, it does give us the one-of-a-kind natural lagoon and a dedicated aviary, as opposed to the Biosyn building set, which is completed with DFW buildings. However, the Malta expansion probably falls a little short, having fewer alt variants and skins than the Biosyn expansion, which I don't think it compensates for in any way. And new update 5 adds reskins to 2 Biosyn variants, the Giga and the Dread, and only 1 Malta variant, the Iguanodon. So in terms of dinosaurs, it has less to offer. So maybe on the face of it, that's how you would rank it. The Biosyn DLC seems to have a smidge more content than the Malta DLC, so if that tips the scale in favor of the Biosyn DLC for you, that is a totally valid and very objective way of looking at it. That's not what I'm gonna do. It's such a slight difference that I would consider it negligible, and I'm gonna be looking more at the quality of the content as opposed to the quantity of the content, and make my decision based on that. So it comes down to which DLC has the best species in my opinion, the best building set, the best decorations, the best maps, because that's most important to me as a sandbox player. In the dinosaur category, the Biosyn expansion wins for me. The Atrociraptor, Oviraptor, Lystrosaurus, and Morus Intrepidus are great. I love them, and I love the adult Allosaurus and the Carno as well. But species like the Therizinosaurus and the Quetzalcoatlus score so high on my personal ranking, not to mention that the 2 Rexy skins, the Dilo skins, and the Giga Body variant are my go-tos for those species, especially now that with Update 5 we have new skin colors for the Giga. So it just doesn't compare. As cool as the Malta creatures are, they don't stack up to that. The Biosyn Sanctuary is a great map, only lacking when it comes to the individually placeable trees, which are too much of the same thing in my opinion. The Sierra Nevada map, however, is one of my least favorite in the game. Like, I'll be building a Christmas park there this month and that'll be fun, but I don't really like that map generally speaking. I don't come back to it very often. The Malta expansion also has a map I'm not a fan of, and unfortunately it is the one with the natural lagoon. But it does have that natural lagoon, so it's not as low on the list as the Sierra Nevada map. The other 2 maps in the Malta expansion are great, and their combined appeal is more than the singular appeal of the Biosyn Sanctuary. I'm just a really big fan of the biome, and I really like the surroundings and being able to build so closely to the sea. So looking at the maps, the Malta DLC wins. It comes down to the buildings and decorations. And the DLCs just keep exchanging blows. They both have great building sets, but I like the Malta buildings a little bit better for the unique feel they create. But then again, Biosyn comes out swinging with slightly better decorations, as these decorations are more suitable for a park, whereas the Malta decorations are all run down, and aside from a couple of really great pieces, I can see myself struggling to use many of these in multiple park builds. In my opinion, the two DLCs are incredibly close, but I do have to admit at this point that this title was premature. I'm as shocked as you are. Right now, I'm obviously in love with the Malta DLC, and emotionally and reactively, I put it in first place, right? In a heartbeat, without any regrets. But I think I'll agree 6 months down the line, when the newness and the shininess of it has worn off a little bit, I think I'll agree that I made the right decision here by putting the Malta DLC in second place and the Biosyn DLC in first place. It was basically a tie, but what ended up being the tiebreaker was the invisible fences. Again, let me know in a comment down below how you would rank the DLCs. And keep in mind that, in my opinion, both expansions are absolutely stellar, and I highly recommend that you add the Malta expansion to your collection. I think there's so much good stuff in there that you don't want to miss out on. That's really gonna inspire you for new park builds for Jurassic World Evolution 2. If you're struggling with inspiration, I have inspiration to spare. I am so excited by all of this new stuff, so stay tuned to the channel to see more creative park builds and tours and tips videos and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.